Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Newcastle podcast. My name is Michael Grameslow and today I'm joined by Iain Mackay and Nicola Pringle Adams. Iain, I'll start with you. How's it going, buddy? Long time no see.
I haven't seen you since about 8 o'clock last night, Michael. However, it's the first time I've been on a podcast with Nicola for about 3 months.
Where have you been?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm delighted to see you, Nicola. How are you doing?
I am good, thank you. Where have you been all my life? It has been a while since us three have been on together.
Yes.
Far too long.
Too long.
But excellent stuff. We're here now. And the Premier League is back, which is
Yay.
more than enough of an occasion for the three of us to get back together. And for those who follow the channel, and why wouldn't you? It's a triple header of action over the next 24 hours as we'll have 3 episodes going up in that time. Friday morning is obviously when this podcast goes out. Then we have both Iain and my individual Premier League predictions, which will go up at some point in the 24 hours between this podcast going out and the first game of the season. So,
Michael, did you get any further with Joanne or Nicola or Kevin to do their own little 10 minutes to go out on the Saturday?
didn't ask.
I didn't even know about
Didn't
it.
ask. You
Nah.
shocking.
When
Right.
you know something's not going to
Shocking.
happen, you just don't ask.
We could have done
Hey.
it yesterday when we did Wildcard Wednesday. We could have done our predictions then if we knew you'd done it.
I mean, it was only common sense, and I have mentioned it to people through the week. So, But yes, common sense prevails, and to be fair, there is still time to do it. So,
We'll do it.
But yes, Aston Villa on the opening day of the season. 2 clubs banging on the door of that top 6, or should I say the money 6. How do you feel about Aston Villa, Nick? Do you like the club at present? Maybe a bit more than we did 10 years ago or so?
I mean, obviously, personal preference is obviously I didn't like them when they relegated us all that time ago. But
Sob on the time.
yeah, right now I don't really have a problem with Villa at all. This whole rivalry that's kind of come out of not nowhere, I suppose, but over the last maybe couple of years, I'm just like, wow, this rivalry's come out of nowhere. And also, can we just appreciate the fact that we're kind of in the same boat as Villa at the minute
Yeah,
with all the
absolutely.
rules? So what was the question? How am I feeling about going to Villa, or how do I feel about Villa?
How do you feel about Villa as a club?
Don't mind them. Don't mind them.
We're
is my
trying not
honest
to
answer
annoy
that.
people just yet.
Yeah, don't mind them is going to be my absolute honest answer to that. I feel like we're kind of on the same page and the same boat with things at the minute. So yeah.
Do you agree with that, Iain? You're on the same wavelength?
Well, I'm further on than that. If you remember, I got a little bit slagged by you lot because Villa are my second Premier League team. I think Villa are a great team.
Yeah. I understand
and
why we did that.
And that's only got stronger as our predicament develops to be the same. We are aspiring to disrupt this top 6 and seem to be coming across the same roadblocks to stop us doing that as Aston Villa. And I'm wondering if maybe that fairly quick negotiation to sell Jacob Ramsey to us is the first step in a little bit of collaboration in trying to sort of put up some sort of defence. Because the way the transfer window has gone this year, it just really, it just brings it, it's all stacked in the favour of this top 6, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah.
So if other clubs don't help each other, it won't be a competitive league. There'll be a top 6 and then the rest of us fighting off relegation.
Yeah, 100%.
Sorry,
It's something that needs
bit
to happen. No, it's 100%. You're right. It's something that needs to happen. I mean, every target we've gone for seems to have ended up at a top 6 club, so, or at least had a top 6 club go into them. So I think Villa will find themselves in the same boat. 2 clubs very, very similar, and both will be expecting to get a good result. I really like Unai Emery as a manager as well. I think you've got to be foolish not to. Not looking at anyone in particular, Arsenal fans. But we're both in a bit of a strange position. Both clubs have really rich owners and are hamstrung by PSR. I do find the online following to be maybe one of the worst alongside our fan base, unfortunately. But I think individually, each their own, they are a great fan base. They get behind the team quite well. But on Saturday, it's every man for themselves. And Emi Martinez is going to be the only player missing from that Villa squad after the red card against Manchester United on the final day of the season. Cheers for that, Emi. And Villa will potentially line up without Morgan Rogers to begin with. He's got a small knock, but there's a belief that he will start. Are there any players that you are particularly worried about going into the game? We'll start with you, Ian.
Well, having had everybody all summer go, nah, he's too old, he's past it, we're not interested. You can't even be a replacement for Callum Wilson. Ollie Watkins seems to bang hat-tricks in for fun against us.
He's a great player.
He's still quick. He's a very wise player. He can outfox any back four. So Ollie Watkins would be there. I think they've got a great midfield. I think Tielemans is I didn't rate Tielemans up until the last couple of years, but actually, having had pointed out what a good player he is, he's then just double underlined that nearly every time that I've seen them play.
100%.
Morgan Rogers, of course, is a wonderful talent, and I quite liked the new guy that started that they've bought now. Was that Marlon? Or am I getting him mixed up with
yes,
somebody?
Marlon on the right wing, signed from
Yeah,
Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
I thought he had some very good flair, very quick, really nice touches at the end of last season. We've really, Villa will be thinking they should be in the Champions League in our place, and we've only
Yeah,
got
100%.
that referee at Manchester United in the last game to thank for just beating them on goal difference. So I don't think it'll be needle about that, though. I don't think they will.
No.
So I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a tough game for Newcastle.
Very much so. They're always a tough opposition for us. And Nicola, I know Ian's took the vast majority of their attacking and midfield options, but is there anyone else that you're worried about?
First of all, can we just appreciate the fact that I forgot we're going into the start of the season this weekend because of all the absolute noise that's going on around Newcastle at the minute? I forgot that we have a game on Saturday.
I take it that was before this pod and you didn't just rock up thinking, we're just going to talk about Ramsey.
I'm like, oh yeah, we've got a flipping game on Saturday. The season starts. Sake.
She's well prepped as well, Nick.
Well prepped, clearly. To be honest, Villa, I have always said and will probably always say that they are a side that definitely shouldn't be, what's the word I'm looking for, underestimated. We've learnt the hard way.
Yeah.
They're a great side, have some really great players. All the ones Ian said would be the ones that I'll be looking out for. And I think when we were originally talking about strikers coming in, because obviously we've got that whole mess going on. I said, just ignore it. I originally said if we're looking for, someone coming in, I would actually be quite happy with Ollie Watkins coming in because I think he's fantastic. And like Ian said, does love a goal against us. So other than that, I just think overall they're quite a strong team. So yeah, it's the whole team to watch out for, really.
Yeah, 100%. It took Ollie Watkins, a minute to get a goal against Newcastle last time round. Hopefully we last a little bit longer this time. But one player that I think is fantastic and hasn't got enough game time last season at Villa at all. In fact, he only started 20 games for them. They signed him for 50 million. And it's Amadou Onana, not Andre Onana, as he was called once in an interview and got quite angry about it. It's definitely Amadou. But yeah, he's an excellent player. And when they beat us 4-1, he was one of the players that, really changed the game, and he was fantastic, and he does it so much. I remember at the start of last season, I think their first 3 goals, 2 of the first 3 were from set pieces, and it was just him, the 6'5" midfielder, just getting onto the end of it, and every defence was sitting there going, well, how do we deal with that? Because he's got a great leap, very physical, and at 6'5", it almost feels like it's common sense to play him in centre midfield, but particularly when you're against that midfield 3 of Joe Linton, Bruno Guimaraes, and Sandro Tonali. But I think he's probably the reason why Villa are okay letting Jacob Ramsey go, who is, as we found out today, he's in Newcastle as it stands. Got the private jet from Birmingham this afternoon, having his medical as we speak. Great signing, in my opinion, 43 million. Villa played him left wing, but we think he'll be playing a bit more centrally for Newcastle United. Do you think that's correct, Ian?
Well, I remember him on the left wing, and I thought when we bought him that yes, he's a good central midfielder in a middle in a three. But I thought he is capable of going out and playing a little bit wider if
Yeah.
Gordon has to switch across to cover for Wissa in the last 20 minutes, for example, if Wissa
Yeah.
finally gets there, or Osula. I think he can play. I think he can do a job, and it's that versatility which I think makes him a really good buy. Um, but yeah, I'd like to see him in the centre because he's quite a creative player as well, and we do rely on Bruno a little bit for that.
Yeah, 100%. Do you agree, Nicola? Do you think Ramsey will be a decent signing for the Mags?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have a bit of positive news for a change, isn't it? But yeah, like Ian said, he is a really creative player. And I originally thought we would be signing him for more central coverage instead of
Yeah.
the wings. But it is good to know that he can be used for either, because obviously we've been screaming out for depth and versatility for a while now. So yeah, I imagine he'll. I think under Eddie Howe as well. He's definitely an Eddie Howe player. When I was looking at him yesterday, when obviously that came out of nowhere really, but I was looking at him yesterday, thinking, I think he'll thrive under Eddie Howe. He's just
Yeah,
definitely an Eddie Howe
100%.
player all round. So yeah, very good.
Michael, there's a little doubt over his injury record, which I have to admit,
Yeah.
I'm not sure when he's not been playing because he's been injured or when he's not been playing because he's not been picked. Have you done any research to know if he is? Is he made of glass, or is that a bit harsh?
I think it's a bit harsh. He did miss 10 games across all comps last season. He was only out for 39 days, which in comparison to Joe Willock, who's out for almost 8 times that probably. Interestingly enough, his worst injury has been a toe injury, which after the Harvey Barnes debacle last year, we all know how that is. It starts off at 5 minutes being out, and then it's 5 months. So yeah, we know how that is. He was out for a fair chunk of 23-24 with multiple different injuries. But I think the positive, I mean, his hamstrings aren't the best. He's had a couple of hamstring injuries, but most of the time it's been little niggles here and there which has led to him being out for 4 games, 2 games, rather than 25, 30, which we've seen with a number of other players. So I think the injury problem is potentially a risk, but we've seen it before. We've had a number of high injury prone players, and I think Jacob Ramsey will be one of those that does really well for us personally. But yeah, Villa on that side as well. They've won 5 out of the last 6 home games against us. We did beat them 3-1 a little while back. Alexander Isak had a stinker and went off injured after 40 minutes.
What a shame.
He did nothing in that game, much like you'll do now in this game. But hopefully the result is still the same. But Villa do tend to have our number at Villa Park, don't they, Ian? How are you feeling going into this one? Are you confident quietly, or do you think we might
Well,
lose this?
I'm as confident as I was following 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, 3-0 games when we turned up and then beat them 3-1. And Fab Shah
Yes,
scored twice in the first half an hour.
correct.
So why not? I think we've got so much pace up front. If it's Barnes, Gordon, Alanga across the front three, that is just what we need to soak up some pressure and hit on the break. And if we can do that, I can see us, as long as the ball into the box is accurate, I can see us scoring a few goals, and therefore that could be another 3-1.
Ooh, interesting. I mean, Ian
3-1.
Mackay 3-1. Who could have saw that coming? But
Why change a
Nick,
habit of
That's
a
not my
lifetime?
prediction. That's not my prediction. I meant in the
true,
week
true,
like the 3-1.
Hmm.
So I'm
true,
not predicting
true.
3-1 just yet.
Okay. Well, we'll see more about that later. But Nicola,
We
are
will.
you as confident or
No, I'm not. Um,
good stuff?
I don't know if it's maybe because of all the noise that's been going on around the club these last what feels like about a year, but essentially has only been like 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
I think I'm worried about how that is gonna affect. I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I think I'm a little bit worried how that's maybe affected the other players. Not that it might not have, but I don't know if it would have. I don't know if that sort of happens, but I'm a bit worried about how that sort of noise has affected the players and the stuff that's going on in the background of the club has affected them. But the other half of me is like, well, these are all professionals. They love the club. This is their job. They know what they've got to do. And if you're to put our team next to Aston Villa's team, I think we're on par with them 100%. So I agree with what Ian says. I do think
I'd
we'll
agree.
obviously score. I don't think we're worse off at all. I don't think they're better off. So I think they're one of our teams that we either have a really great game against or we really, really struggle. So it does just depend on what kind of day we have on Saturday and what team turns up.
Yeah, 100%. And you
That,
mentioned the morale there. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, firstly, on the morale, yep, that might have been right if we played them straight after the friendlies last weekend. However, they'll be buzzing. They've had a new centre back turn up. They'll know that they'll see him for his medical. That Ramsey's joining. Wissa is so open about how he's coming. He actually liked the post on whoever's social media it was that said that Jacob Ramsey was in Newcastle for his medical. Johan Wissa liked it. So I think that'll have that will raise spirits, but it also will focus the minds of the midfield and the centre backs to have have a really good game. There's more competition for those places that they've had
Yeah.
a clean run at. So I don't know. I've got a sneaking suspicion that when everything is doom and gloom, that's when we win
Thrive.
2-0 at Arsenal, for example, or when we win
True.
3-1 at Aston Villa. We can pull it out
Yeah.
of the bag, can't we?
Yeah, well,
So I'm both
potentially.
for
I
that.
remember there was a section last season where we were literally sitting there and going, if Eddie Howe doesn't win these next two games, he could be in serious trouble. And that was before Nottingham Forest, who we didn't realise were going to be a top 5 team, but they were. We beat them, and then we beat Arsenal straight afterwards. So when the chips are down, that's when
Yeah.
Newcastle tend to do our best. So, but I completely agree with you, Nicola. Eddie Howe even said interview with BBC that came out about 5:00. That the players were really impacted by that, the Isak news. Then who can blame them? But one thing that'll impact you, and a lot better than it will Alexander Isak. We'll get to our first advert of the evening a little bit late, but it's from Bioniq.
Your body is unique, and Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now. Your body is unique.
You know, the thing is, I said,
didn't check, Michael.
Yeah, I said at the start of the pod, it hasn't done it for a little while, so I'm not even going to check this time. And then I don't check, and it does exactly that. And you know what the annoying thing is? It's exactly the same file I upload every single week. It just decides whether it wants to do it or not. But we've spoken about the opposition and Bioniq for 18 minutes now. Let's get to the bit that we all know and love. And that is Newcastle United. So obviously there's a guy missing up top. Apparently he's on strike. Who gives a rat's arse? But it means our striking options are a little bit limited. Anthony Gordon picked up a little bit of an injury against Atletico Madrid, but it doesn't look like it's going to keep him out. How do you think that front three will line up, Nicola?
Honestly, at this point, I just don't know.
How do you think they'll line up, Ian?
No, I'm joking. No, Anthony Gordon came out, didn't he, and said that he thinks it's just he just fell on his ankle a bit funny. His ankle? It's whatever. So I think he is fine. Obviously, we'll find out tomorrow, I suppose. I do think he's fine. I actually think we might see Elanga start. I actually don't know. Will we see Ostula up top? Do we have any other choice?
I think we do, but what do you think, Ian?
Oh, okay.
Assuming Anthony Gordon's A-OK, and did you see him train? I saw Malik Chow's first day
I
at
think he was
training.
in training. Let me have a look while you're talking.
I think Gordon was in there. Anyway, I think it will be Barnes, Gordon in the centre forward position, and Alanga, which will start.
Oh yeah,
But I think we might have done some work to just mess things
in training.
around and probably see things like Gordon switching over to the right and Alanga coming through the middle.
Mhm.
I think I think what we'd like to see is some breaks from midfield past the forward line. So Bruno and Tonali and Joe Linton breaking that line. But I don't know if they've had time enough to work on it, and they have. They've known Isak's not going to play for about 6 weeks, really. Then I think they'll mix it up, and I think you'll find that the forward line is a mixture of three different players having a go at left wing, right wing, and false nine. All three of them, not at the
Yeah,
same time.
I think it's going to be one of those where the rotation that we can do is absolutely fantastic. But what I would like to see, in fact, what I would love to see, is actually Anthony Gordon on the left, Anthony Elanga down the centre, and Jacob Murphy on the right. Because when it comes to goals, there's only one player in pre-season who has looked like scoring more than once, and that was Jacob Murphy. He got 3 in pre-season if you include Kyle, which not many people do, but I'm clutching at straws here. When Newcastle need goals, Jacob Murphy is typically a man you can turn to at the moment. I think Anthony Gordon looks like he's chomping at the bit. If you've got a player that intense, want to play it, you've got to play him in his natural position. And he'd be against Matty Cash, who I think is a pretty terrible defender personally. But then Alanga has the unfortunate role of playing at central striker, I hear you say. Well, he did it a few times for Nottingham Forest, but he's actually played 39 times at striker in his career, and in that time he's picked up 21 goal contributions. And how does that compare to Gordon? Well, Gordon has 6 contributions in 15 games in that position. So Alanga is actually more experienced at centre forward than Gordon. Maybe he's not done it so much at a Newcastle shirt, but if you're looking for someone to fit in almost seamlessly, you can put Jacob Murphy on that right and Anthony Alanga down the centre. How's that sound?
Sounds excellent, Michael.
It does sound
Are you
good.
picking
Give
the
you
team?
Eddie Howe's job.
Are you picking the team, not Eddie?
Well, there's a director of sport and operations or something at Newcastle United that's gone on LinkedIn. I have applied, but unfortunately, I haven't got a call back yet. But who knows? Maybe I will. But yeah, onto that back line. It's Lewis Hall and Sven Botman. 45 minutes they've had a piece in the last game. Botman's had a bit more over the whole pre-season. But Ian, do you think they both start?
I don't think either of them start. I think it's Shah and Byrne at centre half.
Yeah.
And I think Botman will come on for the last half an hour. And I think it's probably Trippier on the right and Tino on the left. Tino was wonderful at left back the
So
last
good.
10, 12 games of last season. I don't think you've got to risk Lewis Hall. Maybe he'll come on and do 20 minutes to get more minutes in his legs. But I don't think you've got to risk Lewis Hall if there's any doubt about him. If he's 100% fit, but he hasn't had a full pre-season, then I would start him. But I don't think he is. And I don't think we have to rush him. I think Tino and Trippier will do a fine job at right back and left back.
Yeah, Tino had a good end at the last season at left back, but I thought he was absolutely abysmal there against Atletico Madrid. But Nicola, do you think it'll be the same, that back four?
I actually, I do agree that Botman won't start. And I've been caught on this pod a couple of times now saying that I don't think he'll start many games this season. I think it's going to be the exact same back four as what Ian said. And pretty much for the same reason, only because they've learned in the past of rushing players back from injury. Obviously, I know Lewis Hall's got a bit of preseason and training that under his belt, but there isn't any need to rush him. I think we'll see him on. It depends on obviously the hold that we have on the game. And how the game obviously goes. Obviously, I know the game plan will change, but I think if we've got the upper hand, I think we'll probably potentially see him come on maybe for the last 30 minutes. Eddie Howe loves a 60-minute, 70-minute substitute, don't he? So,
True.
yeah. So probably that is more the option.
All right, we're in agreement.
Or you could start with Hall, and there will be an understanding that he's subbed off after an hour. And then
Yeah,
that equally could be.
that's what I thought, to be fair. But either way, it's not exactly like our options aren't fantastic. I assume we're all in agreement with Bruno Tonali and Joe Linton as that midfield three.
Absolutely.
I think it has to be. Yep.
Yep. Easy going then. So the final question comes around goalkeeper. Obviously, Nick Pope didn't have a great pre-season, but yeah, he hasn't had a great pre-season to say the least. But he has been good for us in the past, and Ramsdale has only had one game in goal for us, and he did concede 2, but I don't think he could have done anything about either of them. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, and I want you to say who's going to start, Nick Pope or Aaron Ramsdale. So 1, 2, 3.
Nick Pope.
Pope.
Yep, we're all in agreement. Let us know what you think. Do you think Aaron Ramsdale deserves his chance? Are you tired of Nick Pope kicking the ball out of play into Rosette? Or do you think Aaron Ramsdale won't be able to pay attention for 90 minutes and it might be a problem? Either way, doesn't sound great. But that's pretty much our that's pretty much our lineup. That's the 11. So we'll have our second advert of the afternoon, and then I've got a little fun game for us. So, can we have the Zencastr advert, please?
Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr.
Absolutely lovely.
Beautiful.
So, before we go into our predictions, as I mentioned, I do have a little game for us to play and for everyone to play at home. And it is the game known as Tenable. So the game where you need to give me 10 answers to a particular question. There are 17 possible answers on this occasion. There will be 2 minutes on the clock, so we don't go until 55 minutes. So I will give you a question, which in this case, I'll do it early. Players to play for both Newcastle United and Aston Villa.
Oh, for God's sake.
Then when I start, you've got 2 minutes to give me as many players as you possibly can. So are we ready?
No.
Oh, we're working together, Nicola, aren't we? We're not.
I think
we're
so.
not fighting each other.
But I'm
because we're only going to get. Go on.
I'm
We're
counting
ready.
on you.
You ready?
Yeah.
Right.
So.
3, 2, 1, go.
James Milner.
Peter With.
Correct.
Peter With.
Okay, I mean since 1992, Premier League era. I couldn't go all the way back to the 1800s.
That's cheating when you're as old as I am. Okay, Nobby Solano.
2, correct.
Shay Given.
Correct.
Matty Target.
Correct.
I'm out.
Brilliant, Nicola.
I know.
Got 4.
Aston
You've
Villa.
had 30 seconds.
Right then.
Did you say Nobby Solano? You did that, didn't you?
You did,
I said him.
Ooh.
Kieran Clark.
That's number 5.
I'm out. That's me done.
Great stuff.
And I've only got 1 so far, and I'm not saying that I'm out yet, but that's because my mind's gone blank. Come on, Ian. Let's think.
Ooh.
The guy.
David Ginola.
Not
David
him,
Ginola?
yeah.
That's 6.
I never know how to pronounce his name. He's on Match of the Day, got in trouble. Jermaine Jenis? Jermaine Janus?
Yes,
Jermaine
that's
Jenis.
number 7.
I don't pronounce his name.
Nicola's on fire.
I don't know.
You are, Nicola. That's brilliant. Who else is there? You got Shay Given, didn't you?
Yeah.
Got 40 seconds left.
It's all right, Michael. 40 seconds.
There are
You only need to get 3.
Pressure's on.
I'm out. I am out.
Not Sol Campbell.
If anyone's got any at home, be sure to put them in the comments.
Yeah.
For the fullbacks.
I haven't even had an incorrect answer yet.
I actually can't think of any more.
Ooh, okay. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, done.
It's not bad at all. It's 7. I can go through the list of players that you've missed, but you got Kieran Clark, David Ginola, Shea Given, Jermaine Genus, James Milner, Nobby Solano, and Matt Target. The players that you missed were Habib Bey, Franz Carr. I don't know who that is. Personally.
I do.
Marlon.
Dutch.
Oh, well, there you go. Maybe you should have got him.
Dutch. Yeah, but Franz Carr is pre-Premier League, though.
Premier League era 1992.
Franz
I would
Carr.
never got that. I don't know who it is.
Dutch winger Franz Carr.
I don't know. He played 10 games in 1992, according to my research. But there's also Marlon Harewood, that well-known Newcastle legend, Aaron Hughes, Stephen Ireland, Ronnie Johnson, Charles Nzogbia, Wayne Routledge, Alan Thompson, and Steve Watson were the others that you didn't get. I also had a bunch of sound bites that I rushed to get for when you've got them wrong or if you've got 10 out of 10, but I guess we'll just have to wait until next time to get them. If you got more, let us know in the comments and let me know maybe on any that I missed, because that's my research, but I'm pretty sure I got them all. But all right, that was good. Bit of fun. But let's go into our predictions. First game of the season. Early kickoff. For those betting, never back the early kickoff. But Villa are the favourites. So maybe, just maybe, Newcastle cause an upset. Nicola, I've given you enough time now. I've waffled on for long enough. What's your prediction for the game?
2-1 Newcastle.
Get in. Ian, what about you?
Starting off strong.
I will be backing Newcastle to win 3-1, but I've thought I'm going to rein in for my actual predictions and do a proper prediction.
Oh.
I think I will be delighted if we come away from Villa with a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I'll be honest, I am in exactly the same boat, but I've gone for a 2-2 draw. I think Villa will dominate the game. Me being a bit pessimistic. Who could have seen that coming? But I think Villa will dominate the game. Will set up on the counter attack. I do admit it'll probably be Barnes, Gordon, and Alanga. I think our pace will hurt them, particularly if it's Cash and Luca Dean as their wing backs. No pace there whatsoever. We'll struggle early on because we always do with Villa's press. Get back into it, take the lead, and then Villa's intensity will lead to them getting a late goal. And when Villa beat with 3-0 and it's nothing like that, I'll sound like an idiot, but I'm happy with it. So that's it. That's all from us on the Daily Newcastle podcast. Hopefully we pick up 3 points on the opening day. Hope you all enjoy the weekend. Maybe a bit more than the villains do. Check out Ian and my predictions in the next 24 hours. And from us, well, we'll see you next time.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.